From the heart of historic downtown Littleton, welcome to Pinpoint, Colorado. I'm your host, Rachel Maines. Whether it's women's clothing or accessories, baby's clothing or toys, or a giftable find, you're gonna love everything you see. Coming up, I sit down with shop owner Stephanie Maines on what makes Giggle Blossom a favorite. Well, thank you, Stephanie, for allowing me to come here today. And we are family, so I think I get a little favor.
Yes, you do.
Well, tell our listeners how you started Giggle Blossom. It's so unique, so adorable, and I think it's a gem here in Colorado.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Well, it goes quite a few years back. I knew I was a middle school teacher. That's what I went to school for. I knew once we started having children, I probably wanted to pull back from that and have an outlet to stay at home. I'm pretty crafty, so once we were able to get pregnant and have our daughter, I started making things for her. And that's actually what it began as a children's clothing line, accessories and that sort of thing. And I sold at markets for the most part. And then it just got to a point where I was at a crossroads where either we need to try to go big or I need to probably venture into something else. And that's where the first brick and mortar kind of came about. We were at a place very well known in Colorado Denver, called White Fence Farm. And the little yellow house in the back, the farmhouse, had a big for lease sign in it. And I thought, I'm going to just see what that's all about. And that's where the first brick and mortar started. And it was the first segue into retail real retail is what I call it, because it was limited hours. The people were already there. So it was perfect. And I had a partner at that time, and we just complemented each other very well. And then it evolved as my daughter grew, because it was children's things at first. I thought, let's bring in some women's things. And now it's just evolved into mostly a women's boutique. My daughter's grown now, all these years later, and it's just, an avenue of ministry and connection and just relationships for me, per se. So
I really like to, well, you have unique style, just impeccable style. So everything is like, oh my gosh, that's a gem. You know, it's when you come in here, it's fun because there's so many things that are just adorable and something you want to purchase either for yourself or gift to somebody else.
Sure.
So I'm sure you're used to people saying you have great style, but how did you grow in that in terms of picking your inventory?
Yes. I find it very uniquely odd in a way, because my own style is very simple. I think I'm a very simple person. I don't really go off into trends very much. There's some in there. So I'm focused on primarily things that I feel everyone needs this in their closet. You know, Everyone needs a denim jacket in their closet. And I try to really focus on the colors of the year and what those trends are, not so much the super trendy styles. And it's been a challenge. I mean, over the years, trends change so fast with social media. And that has just really opened my eyes to there's so much out there to begin with, to choose from. So, that's one of those things that can be more challenging for me, but I just kind of stick with this speaks simple and it's classic, and hopefully other people like it other than me. So,
well, you do a great job at that. And it may be a gift, when someone has a good eye for photography or fashion, just a gift that's like an inherently in somebody.
Sure.
And it's hard to explain how to hone in on that gift.
Yeah.
I really like the name Giggle Blossom. How did you come up with that?
That's a fun story. When my daughter was a baby, she had a baby book. and it was about a ladybug munching on a giggle blossom.
Oh.
And I remember looking at that word and thinking that is one of the cutest words I think I've ever seen. And that was years before anything even started. But I filed that name away. And when it started to just, okay, maybe I can make this a hobby/business. Let's try this out. That name came back to me, and I thought it's a happy name, and just a word in general. And so I thought, well, let's go with that. And it was Giggle Blossom Clothing for Kids, because that's what the focus was at that time. And then when it turned more towards a women's boutique, I thought, well, should I change the name because it's a little bit juvenile? And everyone said, no, keep the name. It's memorable.
Right.
It's just a sweet name. So
it's very unique. It fits the brand. So good job with that. I
Thank
love
you.
that story.
Thank you.
It's hard to have a business, and especially a brick and mortar business.
Yes.
What would be your advice to those listening right now that have an idea and they want to, give it a go?
Right. I think is be patient with it. That's one thing. I think with social media and the quick fame that people can get these days from things, brick and mortar is very different, and we're learning that year after year. It's just changing, and you just have to be patient with it. And there's going to be a lot of things that you'll have to learn the hard way. I didn't take one single business class. I went to school to be a teacher, and so I had to learn as you go, which is the great thing of the internet. You can learn so much, but don't be afraid also to ask others for help. I think people are, I'll figure this out by myself. That's kind of my personality as well. But if someone's already gone through it, ask them.
Right.
And I'm an open book. If someone comes in here and says, I'm thinking of doing this, it's like, you call me if there's anything. There's so many things you have to do before the actual opening of the door. And it's quite eye-opening again. But yeah, just be patient and wait it out. I think there's a 5-year time frame that people, give it 5 years, and then you can really make those hard decisions on whether or not. But then you have circumstances that are out of your control as well. So you really have to see how you can, ebbs and flows through those sort of things. So yeah.
Well, how long have you been in business?
Well, a total of 18 years. Started with the markets, like I said, and then I opened my first brick and mortar. We're at 15 years ago, because I'm going by my daughter's age.
So cute.
Yes. It's like, how old was she when we first moved in? Yeah. So, so it's been a learning. Every year is different. Yeah. Every year has been different, and it's been growing and just realizing how much this is all about God, and He will keep that door open if He wants it open. And that's every time someone says, I'm so glad you're still here. And I am too, but I know if God wants me somewhere else, then I'm totally open to that, and that will be that,
right.
So
yeah, I like how you said that it's a ministry.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can think, oh, only if you're working for a church. But
Sure.
Not true. You can be owning your own business. You can be a teacher. That was your profession first. Firefighter, police, whatever it is that you're gifted for. So that's an inspiration for sure. And I love that when you walk in here, you have Christian music going all the time.
Yes.
And it's just a bright, vibrant, joyful feeling coming into the store. Of course, seeing your face, and then my Aunt Marcia works here as well. It's just a great place to be. What would you say in terms of someone who wants to get specifically into a boutique? What are some of those challenges with the business of being a boutique?
A boutique. Well, I feel like The main challenge is the competition of online. Anyone who has an Instagram page can be successful with selling clothing, especially the influencers that tap into Amazon, and just the challenge of there's overhead that we have to cover, which if you are an influencer, you don't really have that, and then the cost of goods and all of that.
Right.
But it's a balance, and you can't second guess. I think that's really a killer to someone's drive and motivation, is that, oh my goodness, and I still do it to this day.
Yeah.
I just have to have that reality check of just go, just keep going. And, and if, I feel like everything about this store, I give over to the Lord, and it's just, I have to trust that all these decisions that I'm making are going to be successful in the grand picture of things. Granted, I'm going to fail, everyone's going to fail along the way. But it's just, Lord, I'm going to go with this, and, and you direct me from there. But just not comparing, that comparison thing can really hurt you. So it's,
and that can go for more than just owning a store. It's just like in everything in life, for sure, and just trusting God.
That's right.
Walking out in faith.
That's right.
Your store is very unique. How would you describe your store in terms of the differences, this boutique into other boutiques?
Yeah. Well, just in training the employees, my number one thing is when that person walks through that door, we have to figure we have a maximum of 5 minutes with them, and we can't assume they're going to stay for an hour. So lots of people shop and linger, and that's amazing. But if we only have 5 minutes with that person, what is that feeling that they're going to take away? And that you brought up the music, and I thought, even if we only get a hello to them, they're going to have that background music that we're going to trust that's going to plant some sort of seed, and just, we get comments about it all the time, how it feels different in here. And then, the product that I choose, the Bibles that we sell, the devotions, and they'll see it along the way. But it's just, with the employee interaction, it's relational. We have the most amazing conversations with women, and it touches my heart. It's really a special thing. And I know that every woman that works here, all my Giggle Blossom gals, they would not hesitate to go deeper into those relationships, where if you go to another boutique, or even Macy's or Dillard's or whatever, that relationship kind of stops at, hello, can I help you today? Which I can go on for hours of how many just amazing stories that we have, that we've prayed for people, and we add them to our prayer list and that sort of thing.
Right.
So that's
You've
what it's all
created
about.
a community here.
Yeah.
For sure. It's definitely community. And picking, too, historic downtown Littleton. I love this community. I come here a lot.
Yes.
Why did you pick, real quick, we have to wrap up pretty soon here, but why did you pick downtown Littleton specifically?
Well, I was at White Fence Farm. That's where it all started. And I could see the writing on the wall that was on its way to possibly closing. And we were driving down here. I can't even remember why we came down, but there was a for lease sign on another building, actually, where I started in downtown Littleton. And I'm one of those that is like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to call them and let's meet, and because what can that hurt?
Right.
And met with the gal. It was completely doable with the hours of White Fence Farm and opening that second location. Really small, sweet boutique space, and same thing there. It was, this space opened, and driving by, it's just, I feel like God really orchestrates all of this.
Yeah.
That lease, I probably wouldn't have been good to stay there. And this opened, White Fence Farm closed. It all happened in the same like couple months. And I remember my husband and I standing in the doorway, and it's like, this is pretty scary. This is a big spot. A lot of product has to go in here. And he was just like, let's just believe, like the Israelites, you know, and we just have to believe that. And here we are 7.5 years later here in this location. But I love downtown Littleton.
Yeah.
It's just has the same reaction from everyone. When you say, my store's in downtown Littleton, they're, oh my goodness, I love that area. So yeah, I just love it. It's small town in a big city. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
A great fit.
Yeah.
And everything that you're doing here is just amazing, especially since you give the Lord credit, and He's given you such a treasure, and you are a treasure. And so thank you for all you do, Stephanie. And for the listeners, definitely stop on by Giggle Blossom in downtown Littleton.
Oh, thank you, Rachel.
My thanks to Stephanie Maines and team for a warm welcome in downtown Littleton. To plan your visit and see what's new, head to GiggleBlossomBoutique.com. For Pinpoint, Colorado, I'm Rachel Maines. See you next time.